Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Fran Lavoie, and I'm currently on my way to a location. Now, if you are new to the channel, I am Fran, and I am a person that talks about whatever I feel like talking about. And if you like what I'm talking about, and if you want more, you can look through my channel and see different topics that I speak about. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're going to comment, please be respectful. There's no need to be mean. Now, I'm going to be discussing RHOA, Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're on the 17th season, and we're at the end of the season. We just finished the second part of the reunion for the season. And the current players on the show: Porsha Williams, Phaedra Parks. We have Cynthia Bailey as a friend. We have Drew Sidora. We have Angela Oakley. We also have Shamea Morton. We have Kelly Potter. We have Pinky Cole. And we have K. Michelle. And in me talking about this, I have one central focus, because to me, this show is divided in so many ways, and it has everything to do with Porsha and Shamea. Now, Porsha and Shamea were family friends, and Shamea has been on the show as a friend of the show several seasons prior, and Shamea is also friends with Kandi Burruss, who is an ex-member of the show. And if you understand the web, then you understand why, Shamea would be on the show eventually. And if you understand Porsha and who Porsha is, and you would understand why there's a division between the two. Now, I think that everyone on this show is divided because of these two women. And it's obvious. I'm not saying anything that most people wouldn't be able to see, but there are other isolated issues that boil down to this beef right here. And a lot of it has to do with, I personally feel like, jealousy, envy, and severe mismatching and misunderstandings. So, mix matching, I can't even say it, mix matching. I want to start there by pretty much just saying, when we found out that Porsha and Shamea got cool after Porsha's first season on the show, when she was married to Cordell Stewart, and then they got a divorce, and they started to get back cool. This has been confirmed by Shamea when she was on Carlos King's podcast, when she said, they didn't grow up super tight. They knew each other. They would go on family trips together, family and family, but they became really, really close after that. To me, that was a positioning thing. I think Porsha knew Shamea well enough to know that Shamea wanted to get into entertainment. This would be a good opportunity for her. And having her as a friend of the show would be doing Shamea just enough of a favor, but not enough to have her take away from Porsha's shine. Now, where Kandi gets involved is that Kandi starts to elevate Shamea's name on the show by filming with her more, doing all that. And it is alleged that Porsha told Andy, and Andy did, it's not alleged because Andy is agreeing, like, yes, she did say that she wanted you to be on the show several times. Now, shout out to Miss Misha, in my opinion. I believe, and I think there's another Reality by Ashley. Shout out to her. I believe that's her name. By Kristen. I apologize. Reality by Kristen. She does wonderful breakdowns. I believe that Porsha probably put it out there that, yes, I wanted you to be on the show, Shamea, but I don't think that she really wanted her to be on the show like that. I think that sometimes people play and say niceties. I'm going to say that because it sounds like the right thing to say, but that's not what I really want. I believe that more because then there's an alleged saying that Porsha said to Shamea, allegedly, that Porsha would then tell her behind the scenes that I don't think you should be on the show as a cast member, like a peach holder, because it will ruin our friendship. I think Porsha knew that full well because I think Porsha knows herself. I think in order for Porsha and Shamea to coexist as friends, Porsha cannot share the spotlight with Shamea. Shamea is a very multi-talented person, and when Shamea is at her best, she is actually, to me, very entertaining. Where Shamea falls short is that she does not express her true feelings at the time that they need to be expressed, and she is marred by loyalty. And why I say she's marred by loyalty is that because no matter if the person is right or wrong, she's going to stand 10 toes down and then grow an extra 10 toes and stand another 10 toes down by standing up in the midst of wrongdoing, even if she doesn't feel right about it. And she may feel right about it, but when push comes to shove and when her back is against the wall, she has to then pick another side or get ousted in order just for her to look stupid. And a perfect example of that is when in season 16, Shamea and Porsha were closer. They were having rough conversations, but they were closer. But then Porsha and Angela had a rift. They were, I forgot where they were, and Angela overheard them outside by the pool saying, well, Porsha saying, and I'll go ahead and smash Angela's husband, which is Charles Oakley. And Shamea's laughing. Angela is holding this over Shamea's head. I don't think that Angela is cool with Porsha, but I think that Angela is playing the long game, like most people do, and Angela be lying. But now that Shamea is on the outs with Porsha, now everybody is close to Porsha, or Angela would be close to Porsha, strategically in my opinion. And now, Shamea, you look dumb because you were laughing. You were standing 10 toes down with Porsha, and you are now not close with Porsha, and the person that you were laughing about is cool with Porsha, and you're on the outs. Like, you just look dumb now, right? I think Angela is strategic, and I think, in my opinion, this may not happen, this is my opinion, I think that she's going to get Porsha in the worst way. She's positioning herself to end Porsha, in my opinion, or she really is just that blind and that affected by minuscule things. in this reunion, Angela revealed that the only person that she really tried to get close to was Shamea. And when she laughed at Porsha's joke or comment about messing around with Charles, her husband, she took Shamea's laughing to heart because she wanted to get to know Shamea. Shamea laughing made her see Shamea in a different light. I can understand seeing Shamea in a different light, but to move on with Porsha, who made the comment, as opposed to just forgiving Shamea and just moving on, there's jealousy involved because now you're trying to affect Shamea's pockets and affiliation with the Atlanta Falcons by saying that she's messing with and the Atlanta Hawks by saying that she's messing with different players. And she apologizes for doing that over a job that Shamea says she don't need all the time. Now, the reason why, if you don't know, they make these comments is because Shamea is married to Gerald, and Gerald is an HVAC tycoon. He owns the largest and runs the largest HVAC company in the country. And she lives in a $9 million home, and she has a very luxurious, beautiful life. I don't think that the women are necessarily jealous or hate Shamea for her life, but I think that they'll take jabs at her life, and the fact that I think they'll take jabs at whatever they can take it at. And to me, that sounds like jealousy. To me, underlying at least some envy, and just anything to pick at a person just to pick at them and have tabs on them. I think that. But the fact that Porsha was on the outs with Drew last season for doing work with Dennis, who is Porsha's baby's daddy. The fact that she was on the outs with Angela over, I forget what they were on the outs over, but then it's like, then Porsha made that comment. And then now this season, you're back close. And it's like, everybody is against Shamea. Now you do have Kelly, who is close to Shamea. You have Pinky, who's neutral, and you have K. Michelle. I forgot about K. Michelle. How could I forget? Who is semi-neutral, but now she's on the outs with Shamea because Shamea made a big mistake. And Shamea, being close to Candy, who's close to other Atlanta girls, who K. Michelle is on the outs with. Now, if you're confused, just watch the video slow. It's such girl drama, high school girl drama. But K. Michelle was on a show called Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And K. Michelle used to date a guy named Memphis, who was married to Toya Johnson, who is the baby mother of Lil Wayne. Now, K. Michelle alleges to Rashida, the boss chick, who is also cool with Candy, who's also cool with Shamea, that, and this was like maybe 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, that Memphis affused her. I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Not affused, but you know, you take the F out and you put the B. And Rashida didn't believe her. None of the girls believed her. And that hurt K. Michelle. Well, it ended up that him and Toya got divorced. It ended up being true, allegedly, and K. Michelle has not recovered from that because it does not feel good to be judged and not believed over an abuse that happened to, an abuse that happened to you. See, I can't even keep it up. An abuse that happened to you. The F wasn't a good like substitute, but y'all understand what I'm saying, and I thank y'all for that. But now Shamea is cool with all these girls. That's not cool with K. Michelle. So Shamea's not innocent, because there's no way that you're going to make me believe that you're not trying to create an alliance with Kelly, possibly Pinky, and K. Michelle, so that you can have people in your corner. But you need to tell K. Michelle that, hey, I want to be cool with you, even though my friends that's not cool with you told me to watch out for you. Nobody wants to hear that. If you're going to be my friend, regardless if I'm not cool with your other circle, then be my friend. That obviously put K. Michelle on the defense. And at the reunion, she's airing out your mama coming to the club with her while you're giving her that information. Now people are slinging dirt. And Shamea is looking crazy. She's being gaslit at every which way. She's being made to apologize by Andy, who is favoring Porsha and her friends, it seems. I just think that Andy knows how to play the game to make TV. Or I just really think he's that oblivious because he don't really care. He's just keeping up just to keep up, and it just seems easier to go with this side. I think that this is a gaslighting McGee altogether, because people are trying to stay in alignment with Porsha. Being with Porsha is being on the right side of history at this time, it seems, because there's money involved. People will like you, and people equal ratings, and people equal, am I going to stay on the show or not? Especially if you can't play a good villain role. I think that these women feel like it's just better to be friends with Porsha and to have Shamea out of the dumps. Now, that level of Porsha versus Shamea, to me, at the core of it, is Porsha being jealous or envious, because there's differences in both, of what Shamea has amassed in her life, because we see patterns, right? We see that Shamea was once married before, got a divorce, and then married Gerald again, who she seems to care for and has a beautiful, fabulous life where she doesn't have to worry for much. Her biggest worry is giving Gerald a son. I do remember at the end of the final episode before the reunion, she did say on a plane with Gerald, it was kind of like a video cam on the phone, we're pregnant. Now, people seem to be glossing over that fact, but I do hope that she's pregnant with a male embryo. That is the assumption. Now, with that being said, I believe that Porsha, it just looks like this. I'm not saying, let me just say that she could allegedly be jealous or envious, because it seems like you don't go to Porsha doesn't go to Shamea's wedding. She tells several different lies about it up until season 16, because I think Shamea got married in 2017 or something. And it's 2025, 2026 where we're finally getting the truth that, no, I didn't go to your wedding because we weren't talking at the time. Well, why weren't you talking at the time? When Shamea was a friend on the show, Porsha did not stand up for her when it came to alleged Candy ex-dungeon stuff. And we know about the infamous season 9, the lies, where Porsha and Phaedra were involved in a lie where Phaedra alleged that Candy and Todd were going to try to get with Porsha, right? Then that whole thing falls apart. Porsha looks to me like an idiot for believing that, but it was really just her believing Phaedra, who Phaedra had some type of beef with Candy because Candy was holding up some of Apollo's stuff in the house, and they seem to be cool with Apollo, who is Phaedra's ex-husband. And if you're still confused, I apologize. But to me, that rabbit hole goes so deep. When Porsha didn't have Shamea's back and all that, mudslinging back in season 9, season 8, and you see that her and Candy, Shamea and Candy are cool. Candy was featuring her more and more on the show, even threw her a engagement party or a bridal shower for her marriage to Gerald. Porsha not going to the wedding as her alleged and close friend, best friend, just to make up excuses about, well, I have a condition that makes, plane riding hard for me, and all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. It seems to me that it's very fishy. And then to have the truth come out that y'all weren't talking at the time. Well, I gave y'all all that backstory to show it's like, why wouldn't you be talking to her at the time? Shamea marries Gerald. Porsha gets with Dennis. Shamea has a daughter. Porsha has a daughter. Shamea ends up having another child. Meanwhile, Porsha is getting married to Simon. Like Porsha's life did not end up the way that she thought it was going to end up, but it always looks like what Shamea is doing, Porsha has to come and do something similar. Now, don't fight me in the comments. It can appear like that, and it might not be true, but to say that the issue stems from their parents, from their mothers, and for them to make a pact that they weren't going to let what their mothers were going through affect their friendship, for their friendship to be affected all of a sudden, and for them to bring their mothers back into it, means to me that they had no choice but to bring their mothers back into it, because their beef is futile. And to me, not understanding what the issue is leads us to go back to that history. And some people might come and say, well, no, it's not because of, what each other have versus the other. I would say that Shamea is seeking the fame and the notoriety that Porsha has because of this show. Porsha did not want Shamea to elevate because of that notoriety and fame, because she knew she would not be able to handle someone else sharing in that light that she didn't expect to, that has talents of her own. Shamea can sing to me. Shamea is very charismatic, And I think that Shamea has success in her own right, but she wants the same success, if not more. And however it will land for her. I'm not saying that Shamea is like, I just want to be better than Porsha. I'm not saying that. More than there is a sense of, I want to be in the spotlight. The difference is that I don't think Shamea wants to dim Porsha's light. I think that Porsha, while she wanted Shamea on the show, there is a clear breaking down of their friendship once Shamea gets on the show. Angela did get in their business, and Shamea made a rookie mistake of speaking out her grievances and issues with Porsha, because Porsha was just doing Porsha. Keeping Shamea like this while, you know, just being up in the air in her mind and everything, not knowing that Shamea was the one singing when Shamea was showcasing her song. Just things that a friend would not neglect and a friend would not do. Porsha was doing it, and it triggered Shamea, and she opened up to the new girls in the group. And I know that that bothered Porsha, because it's like, why are you opening up to them when you can just come talk to me? It's difficult to talk to somebody who does not have accountability, because when Shamea has tried to speak with her, Porsha just completely goes every which way but direct and manipulates the conversation. And so, to me, all these alliances and this split group is because of an issue that Porsha has with Shamea. Shamea, to me, would become friends with Porsha back in a heartbeat, because a part of Shamea is shallow and wants to be in the it girl group. It's not that she wouldn't be friends with Kelly, but I don't think that she would have forged a friendship with Kelly the way that they have if her and Porsha were still cool. Porsha going after Kelly, to me, is a direct reflection of Kelly's relationship with Shamea. Whether or not Kelly was with a married man or not at the BET Awards is a very scandalous and juicy tidbit, but you harping on it, to me, is the direct reflection of you and Shamea are friends, so I have to have something to peg at, and that's what I'm gonna do. And to me, it's all schoolgirl drama. Phaedra is in the back, just, to me, stirring up pots too to support Porsha, because they're freaking frack. And then we have the friend of the show, who is an OG, Cynthia Bailey, who flip-flops at every which way, because to me, flip-floppers, they have the story, they either just don't care about it, or it's just they're blinded to one thing over the other, and it just makes them all look stupid. To me, the gaslighting of Shamea needs to really, really, really be exposed and come to an end, because everybody on this show is not innocent. To me, Pinky is just there, but Pinky has her own defense mechanisms about her bankruptcy, and just the way that she delivers stuff with her words isn't great. K. Michelle, with this whole beef with Drew about Black, it's like, girl, if you married, it shouldn't be that deep. Then it's like K. Michelle just is like high school drama to me. Like, everything is more sensitive than what it needs to be, in my opinion. But she's made valid points about Shamea. Like, Shamea, you just be bringing unnecessary drama to yourself. Why would you tell that girl, see, I want to be cool with you, despite what my other friends who not cool with you say? Just don't say that. If K. Michelle proves your other friends right, who have had experiences with K. Michelle, then let K. Michelle dig her own ditch. You don't have to say that, because that incites what? Drama. You bringing people that's not in the show into it, you opening up your mouth, it's just too much, right? So it's all that stuff, and I just think that it all boils down to that. Now, if you watch this video and you're like, this don't prove nothing, you just talking, you need to shut up, or any other things, I came on here to give my opinion. And that's just what I'm going to do, and that's just what I've done. So you have an opportunity to give your opinion. Drop down in the comments, let me know what you think. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.